Well, it's almost Christmas.
4 days.
4 days? It's
Yeah.
the 19th today.
It's not Wednesday.
Oh. You are, for the benefit of watching Shane's talking in the future, I'm talking in the now, and we've actually recorded it. But hey, it is what it is. At least you got your Christmas decorations up now. You're the last person in the UK, I think.
The outside decorations have been up for quite a while. There was technical reasons why we didn't have them up.
Inside, we thought it was Scrooge's bloody house.
I can be called anything apart from a Christmas Grinch. I do love the Christmas.
There was a reason, though, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. There's a
did the builder come and do it?
No. There's a
He still hasn't done it, is he?
He has, yeah. He's there today. There was a genuine. Well, he's there 2 days ago when we were recording this, and there's a genuine reason for me, right? Because of all my little quirkinesses. Christmas does not start until the Pogue's Fairy Tale in New York has been on the radio.
Well, it probably has been on the radio many times, just not what you're listening to.
And you usually hear this around the first week of November. I did not hear it until the 18th of December. I had radio stations on. Granted, most of them were Talk Sport listening to the football, but I had Heart and Heart Christmas and Capital. None of them. I've heard every other Christmas song a dozen and a half times.
But your journey from home to gym to work is about 35, 40 minutes. And then on the way back's the same. You do know there's 24 hours in the day, so they probably played it when you weren't in the car.
But it doesn't start until that song comes on. So it came on the Sunday before Christmas.
Did it?
Christmas is on now.
So you waited till then? You put your decorations out?
Yeah.
Wow, good job they played it then, because otherwise poor family wouldn't have had any Christmas decorations.
And, right, when you're putting up Christmas decorations, and it's the day of the World Cup final.
That was football, sorry.
And Chicken Curry Saturday has been transferred to Sunday because we were out with a few people. I wanted a beer, and there was no beer in the house because I don't drink that much. So I went to, I think it was Asda. And
you wanted a beer, you're right. You had a temperature of you.
And I bought an 18 pack of Foster's.
Still be there next Christmas.
This time next year, they're still going to be there.
There'll still be 17 left. Foster's. Could you have bought any worse alcohol?
There's nothing.
I remember Foster's from the day when I was a student.
But that's what I associate when I came over to the UK first and started coming over in kind of 2000, 2001 onwards for long weekends. That was the go-to beer of choice.
Yeah, I wasn't really strong with it, Foster's. That was probably why.
Bloody feeling strong at the moment.
No.
And maybe that's just when you go back and you have something, it kind of brings back good memories. That's what we.
Foster's brings back good memories.
Well, the giddiness and the youthfulness and being able to drink all day and all of these things.
I'm not sure the word Foster's and good memories will ever come to.
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick story. The 4 of us came over originally one Thursday in I can't remember what time of year it was. About 2001 or so, and we'd never been to Cardiff before. And we were just coming over to have a long weekend, and we were staying with a few girls, who is now my wife. And we touched down in Cardiff Airport, and I don't know why, but we had this idea that as soon as we touched down in Cardiff, we were, because it was Cardiff International Airport.
Probably the last flight we'd have touched down in Cardiff Airport, were you?
Yeah. And it was like, there's loads of green fields. Where the hell is Cardiff? And you go, we're not in Cardiff, we're in Barry. And we're like, we wanted to be in, and for that 2 or 3 minute period, have we arrived in the wrong airport?
Brilliant. I think a lot of people think that we arrived at the Cardiff Airport as well. Where have I arrived?
Where do you want to go to, guys?
It's not exactly the epitome of a city airport, is it? Let's be fair.
Where do you want to go to, guys? I went Mary Street. I've been told. It's St. Mary Street. I'll still remember that to this day. It's St. Mary Street. Fine, take us there. Where's the best place to go drinking? To, 4 young 20-odd-year-old Irish guys go. The Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales.
God, that stood the test of time.
10:30 in the morning.
Was it even open then? He's not like the days it is now.
Yeah, 4 lads, 4 big rucksacks dumped, sat in there all day. It's not like we decided let's go and have a little tour. We just sat there all day.
No.
And all night. But that's for another day.
So the end of 2022 is approaching.
It's approaching.
What's it been like? It's been an interesting year.
Better than 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, that wasn't difficult, was it? Wow. Yeah, you're blinking. Now, that does seem a while back. Now you put it like that, 2020 and 2021. There'll be less COVID in 2022, I think we've had. We'll have a big block that'll have on the screen now because I've mentioned the C word. But no, it's been interesting, yeah. I think turbulent is probably...
It's been unstable, yeah. And I get it for those that are uneducated is the wrong phrase. That need to be re-educated in terms of, especially their money. It's been probably a frightful, fearful, anxious, upsetting year.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's really changed anything, have they? I think 2023 is going to be the time when people are going to have to change things and change the way they do things, and especially with money. I think people spend more time going, what am I going to do, and actually not do anything about it. Still spending like they did, still buying what they wanted to buy, and going, well, actually, am I going to afford this? But actually, we're not actually really doing anything about it. But I guess from a businessy, personal point of view, we've had a pretty good year. We've won some awards, haven't we?
Yeah.
Become chartered, individually and as a firm.
You chartered firm, chartered
fellow
chartered
financial planner,
and a fellow at the CII.
Yeah.
Certified financial planner, chartered wealth manager. No more financial exams. Bang, done. There were years and years.
I can't even think how many exams I've actually done, but I think we still do our general CPD and our learnings, but a lot of our learnings now are more about kind of business and how we can really benefit our clients. We upped the ante on video and podcast. We're putting out 2 a week, and we've been pretty consistent with that for the year.
The YouTube channel is going well. I sent a link in a WhatsApp group I was in last week, and I sent somebody mentioned something, and I said, have a look at this, and there's 8 of us in it, and I didn't know you did that, Shane.
Yeah, I think that's one thing we have been poor at, which is actually putting out there. We've produced probably across YouTube and podcasts about 300 episodes, I would say, in total,
and hundreds of hours of educational
video. And Chris, who does our editing and all that, has done a good job with getting all those things cut up, put together, and we're going to do a lot more of that in 2023. But we'll come to that in another one.
It's amazing. The papers, the trade papers that we look at and give us some information and that about the Kings called the FCA down in London and what they're going to charge for next. But they've been talking recently about how there has to be a fundamental change in the world of finance, and it's going to start kicking in 2023 and onwards, where it's done away. The old thing of the past is going to be the financial advice, and the 2023 thing is going to be the education and aligning understanding and that of people's money, and kind of thinking we're doing that already.
Yeah, I think I think we've done a lot of that. We definitely touched on it. I think we tested some things in 2022 around kind of money management. We run quite a few webinars to see what people really want, and I think we've got a good idea on that now. But it's gone quick, I would say, as well. 2022. I think we had a lot of plans. I don't know whether we hit them all, but I think we've done a lot. We've worked very hard with our clients and on the financial planning side of our business. I think we've done a lot there. I think we've got a lot more to achieve. There's a lot more we can do to add more value.
There's a few points there. I think, firstly, we didn't achieve everything we almost set out to do this year. And that's not a negative, because I think we overstretched our targets. So we hit quite a lot of things that we wanted to achieve, but there are a few things, and we can chat about them in another session about what we're going to do in 2023, which we'll bring forward. But I don't see it as a negative, because I think we did as much as we could. And I think one of the big things for me is getting back to the world of finance is very simple, and far too many people make it very scary and try and make it very difficult to understand. And I think we've basically, not in a nice way, dumbed down and talked about it in a normal way, which makes people understand it more and more, so that people become what's the term going to go? People become more comfortable with everything that's going on. Yeah. And that's a big thing to do, is try and put it in layman's terms, simple, rather than kind of try and...
Yeah, 100%. I think, and I think there'll be a lot more of that to come next year, but we're not going to get into that too much now. But this year has challenges. It has its successes, its failures. There's been business challenges, personal challenges. But that's the rough, and that's what comes with being a business owner. You take the rough with the smooth, and you sometimes have to put on a brave face when sometimes it's not that easy to. But that's kind of life in a way. Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of things that business owners will probably see this, and then people that work in the world of finance will see it even more. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background, even especially in our sphere of finance, where you're not firefighting, but new rules, regulations, levies, and that come out. And as much as things happened many, many years ago, the regulator themselves almost seem to be very reactive on something, and then throw something out and go, you've got a short time to do this. And then everyone's running around the place trying to make an understanding of what a white paper or whatever it may be, put things in place, see are they the correct things. And
but you have to make an interpretation of it, don't you? They don't give you the guidelines, which they should
still go on with your normal job and still have so much time taken up with all of this. The biggest example is during COVID, we had these COVID resilience surveys, which they were sending out every 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, they changed names twice during COVID, didn't they? They were branded up as one thing, and then they're doing it. What are they doing with all that data?
They'll be doing something with it, but from the point of view of people talking, understanding us, each time we do it, we have to send the accountant the figures for him to calculate a profit and loss.
Which is costing us every quarter.
Costs us money and time.
Which the FCA costs us enough money as it is.
And now it's gone from the COVID to a business resilience service. So we're still doing this.
Can you imagine what some of these bigger companies who have, 50 to 100 staff in, having to get these figures quarterly, their accountants can be charging them a few £1,000 each time, and a lot of work involved.
So there's little things like that when people think, well, all you do is you rebalance my ISA, or you move. It's not as simple. It is, along with the keeping a business running, as anyone would be if you're selling a widget, and making sure your technology is all up to date, and making sure you have all the infrastructure in place, and making sure you have the annual review reports, and complying with the FCA regulations of TCF and consumer duty and business resilience. There's all that. So it has been challenging this year, and it does seem that there's more and more pushed down
bureaucracy
from the regulator to try and gather the same information in different ways from us, which means having to set up
to what end, though?
things.
I don't want to get into this, but to what end? I don't see what end. I think they're still missing the mark, with letting some of these bigger companies scam people, fold, which falls on us then to have to pay levies, which pays for these, when they could have been stopped by a regulator. So I get it, they're doing all these service things, but on the bigger picture, are they actually preventing the frauds and the problems which are out there?
No, they aren't. And the biggest one we know is British Steel, and we saw last week where there's 49 million of a redress.
But I don't think it's just British Steel. If you look at all the other, why just British Steel? There's other defined benefit schemes out there which are exploited. I think
that's one of this kind of the main one that they talk about at the moment. And we know that within the next 3 to 4 months, we're going to get hit with a levy because the 49 million has to be pumped into that compensation. So it does mean, unfortunately, regardless of the fact of gas, water, electricity, so whatever it is going up in costs, and our costs in the office here are going up 41% in this.
Just our running costs alone.
But when the levy comes in, our costs for clients, the end result is the FCA is saying you have to treat everyone fairly, but we are going to treat everyone fairly because costs are going to have to rise to cover the new scheme. So
we've had to have that conversation with clients. I mean, that our costs have gone up.
That's been the difficult year.
We've frozen our costs for probably the best part of 5 years, really, haven't we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now we have to pass some of that on to our clients because we have to run the business, keep the doors open, pay staff, and run a profitable business. But I do wonder if it does continue like this, whether small firms will be able to survive or whether we'll all be sucked into the realm of a network or a bigger firm, which I don't think is a great client outcome. I don't think, because you're just a small cog in a big wheel then, do you know what I mean? And that's what clients will fall into. I think you'll lose that personal service. But
I read, when you're talking about that, there's a lot of negativity with that, and then people they still expect free. They say it's not advice, but could you recommend? And even yesterday, I noticed on the Sunday Times, there was a guy on there, and he was giving his information on the funds that he has self-picked over the last few years. He was a journalist, and I think he said this year alone he's lost over six figures on his investments, and he's picked not fund of funds. He's picked specific shares, i.e., Boeing or
Kazoo, maybe.
Yeah, and
goodness, have you bought that?
The vast majority of them, he said, I'm down. He said, I do get good dividends off this, and this one, but overall, I have 13% of my portfolio in this fund. I've got 17% in this one, and I'm thinking he's putting this out on the Sunday Times, which was 1.2 million readers. And are you telling me that that's not advice? I know he's not getting paid for it, but he's telling you what funds he has, what percentage of his overall portfolio, and how he thinks they have done in the previous 12 months against a type of benchmark, and what he thinks they're going to be like going forward. It's like there's, you have to almost, it's going back to the education thing of how successful we've been this year. You have to start telling people that's not the way to invest for the long term. Yeah. It is diversification. It's, potentially we can have discussions with DFMs that come in, but it's potentially for the vast majority that don't have huge wealth, passive funds that will track something, and not 3, 4, 5 singular funds, because if something happens again and they go down by 20%, you're in serious trouble. But again, that comes back to the re-education of people that they're needing, because what your parents and grandparents learned 20, 30 years ago and had an impact on them psychologically, they may have said, don't do this type of thing, and they'll pass that on to their children, and it goes to 2 generations. Everyone post-COVID needs a re-education or realignment of how they are to look after their money, which aligns with happiness.
So that was 2022 then.
2022 in a nutshell. It started like that and it went like that.
Yeah. Next year though, we'll document our journey a little bit more in depth, I think.